Welcome to the It Podcast. As you all know by now, the It Podcast is powered by Monterex. Make sure you head over to monterex.com and take advantage of the 15% off they offer if you type in Legit at checkout. Monterex have been the main sponsor of the podcast for a while now, and their gear is a belter. So head over to the website now and take full advantage of the Legit promo code. So before this episode starts, if you do enjoy the Legit Podcast and you do want to support us for just £1 a week, you can on Patreon. And with doing so, you get early access to all our episodes and an extra weekly episode of me and Jordan just chewing the fat. Thanks for the support. Nice one. What's happening, everyone? It's the It Sportcast. It's me, Andy Grant.
It's me, Jordan Neild.
Massive shout again. Monterex, you type in Legit. That's it. Legit at checkout for 15% off. Type in Legit 20 for 20% off there. And Legit 10 for Health Kick Kitchen. Go and support them all. You're Monterexed up today.
Every day.
I'll be in there. I was in there all last weekend, and I'm going to go and eat some Health Kick Kitchen scran straight after this. So, yeah, support the sponsors. Where do you want to kick off, Jord?
I don't know. It's a mad week, isn't it?
I feel like we're on the brink of like a big few weeks. Obviously, you've got the National coming up. There's some... we
haven't got much footy going on at the minute, have we? At all, really.
It's international weekend, innit?
Yeah.
Absolute. It breaks my heart. It's so... The season's coming to that, the exciting bit. And then we just throw an international break in. Which is a bit shit.
I don't even know are these friendlies?
I don't know. This is a sports show and I genuinely don't know or care.
I hope all them people who were diehards in the summer know.
No, I think I think I heard on the radio, it is a qualifier.
There's so many tournaments.
I don't know who England are playing, do you?
No. Couldn't care less. Not even talking about it. But I just hope none of our players get injured.
Yeah, that's the big thing. On the internationals, the only thing I will say is I think it's Chile play Brazil this weekend in the South American, obviously qualifying. It's one of the only things that are still left standing is Brazil have never been beaten at home in a World Cup qualifier.
Ever?
So
not even by like Argentina, no?
No. So they've been beat in World Cups.
Wow, I'd have never got that.
In Brazil. Yeah. But yeah, in a World Cup qualifying campaign, Brazil have never been beaten at home.
That's unreal.
And I think if Chile needs to qualify, they need to beat Brazil. So they need to do something that's never ever been done.
Wow.
Bit of a stat for you there.
Good. I'm impressed there. You know what I mean? I would never ever have got that.
That is a crazy stat, isn't it?
I swear England, obviously haven't qualified, but when did Chamberlain score in Brazil?
Well, hang on.
No, what was that in?
Hang on, stop it, right. How England are never going to play Brazil?
That's what I mean. But didn't England beat them once in Brazil?
Well, I don't know. They might. You're taking this cool stat and you're fucking it up.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay, the stat is World Cup qualifying. Brazil have never been beaten at home.
Where did you hear that?
On TalkSport.
Fucking Tory listening to that shit.
Not like Laura Woods and Annie McCoist.
You couldn't pay me to listen to TalkSport. It's the Sun.
Laura Woods and Annie McCoist.
No.
Don't give it all the Sun thing. Do you have Sky?
Yeah, but that's what it is. I don't actually have it. I don't have a Sky subscription. I have Now TV internet.
Do you watch Sky though?
On the
you go.
But it is.
I hate that shout though.
But it is.
If you done that and didn't do anything, Rupert Murdoch had fucking shares and investments in, you wouldn't do anything.
Which I totally agree with. But Sky is like a necessity. TalkSport isn't.
Laura Woods is my fave, so.
Well,
anyway.
Let's leave Laura Woods.
Okay.
Things. Let's leave that. That's going to cause a little debate.
So this weekend, mate, football aside, well, not football aside, what we will touch on is obviously the events of last weekend. Liverpool's quadruple hopes continued.
Yep.
With a 1-0 win at Forest. I put a bet on at 150 to 1 to do the quadruple. It's gone down to 20 to 1.
That's very good betting, that. Very good betting, well done.
Everton, on the other hand, were beaten 4-0 by Palace.
FA Cup though, wasn't it?
It was the FA Cup, but do you not think that was a chance to kind of give a bit of, hope in what's been a pretty disastrous Premier League campaign?
I do, but I also think it was like, we fucking don't need this. We need to stay up.
Really?
I don't think Frank Lampard went into the game thinking that. But, for example, this would have meant a lot more to Everton. I think if Everton were 13th in the table with absolutely no hope of Europe and no hope of going down, they would have been like, this is it, everything, we need a trophy. And they do need a trophy, but they need to stay in the Premier League a lot more. And I've banged the drum that they're going to, but it's getting scary now. It's getting real scary.
Do you agree though that the manner of the defeat was a bit cause for concern?
Yeah, it was just give up, didn't he? There's Lampard summed it up. I'm actually been impressed by the way he's spoken all the way through since he joined, but they weren't beat because they were the worst team. Because they weren't a worse team. They're not a worse team than Palace, but they got beat because Palace wanted to win more than everything. Everton, the same reason they got beat by Wolves. That game was tight till half time. And then, the likes of Conor Cody, Ruben Neves, players who've got a bit about them, said, no, we're going for this. And Everton just go, oh, yeah, don't run too fast.
I just think 4-0 just sounds...
It's demoralising more than it is, actually impacts the campaign. But it's...
The other big problem is, I think, to you, and I know I've banged the drum for ages, I think they'll go down. You've said that they haven't. The Newcastle victory on the Thursday night, obviously we didn't speak about it on the last Sportcast because it was already kind of done, but I think that's a kind of false hope,
Which that
they've beat Newcastle, but they didn't play great. Yes, they got the win, but they've now lost to Townsend, who's out for the season, and Allen is now suspended for the next 3 games.
Yeah, but imagine if they hadn't won that.
Oh yeah, listen,
they've got to win any game.
Much needed 3 points, great. But I don't know, I just got the feeling from maybe the likes, obviously I was with you, watching it with you and a few of the lads, it was a bit like, right, that's it, they've won, they're going to stay up now.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as clear cut as that.
No, you're probably right. I mean, the thing is, it gave them hope, didn't it? So they've got something to aim at in terms of the games. But as much as it is in their hands, they also need teams to continue to drop points around them. So it's not entirely in their own hands, because there's not a chance Everton go even close to perfect from now to the end of the season. They'd be lucky. I don't even know how many points they need. 12 maybe? 15?
Yeah, I kind of worked it out and tried to be positive, and I had them down for about 9 more points, which puts them on about 32. So it's all going to come down to, I think, whether Burnley can put a run together. And obviously they play Burnley in a few weeks, which is going to be absolutely massive.
But I think the likes of Leeds and Brentford also play teams around them, don't they? So depending on how them games go, then you can also pull them back in. But I still think it's open to about 4 teams, I mean, like.
No, I think it's between Burnley and Everton.
Because what's the league table?
It's Burnley and Everton, I think.
I don't know. It's bad. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know I don't even know how Everton fans are like trying to be optimistic. It's a fair play to them, but it's just such a scary situation now, isn't it?
It's scary and sad, because I think at the end of the season you're going to be looking at Richarlison will be gone, Calvert-Lewin will be gone.
I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, though, if I'm totally honest.
Really?
If they stay up, because then these players are good on the. They're not the type of players Everton need. If I was Everton, and look, these players I'm about to say aren't going to come, but these are the types of players that I go and try and find. The likes of Cody, John McGinn, players like that who've got a bit of like personality about them. Richarlison, I know people rate him, but he just runs around, scores the goal, and just gets booked constantly.
I wouldn't sign him for his celebration alone.
Not the pigeon one.
Is it a pigeon? Is it a chicken or something? What the fuck?
I know. But they've got players like Mason Holgate, players like that, who are just like, they think them way better than they are. They need to go and get players who like have got, I don't even know what the word is, but they stand up and be counted, do you know what I mean? Yeah. And they won't hide away from, if they're having a bad game, they'll still be there throwing the foot in. Like, Cody has loads of bad games, but his attitude and the way he carries himself gets him through it. John McGinn the same.
Yeah.
But it's hard to come across them players in this day and age.
Yeah. All gone quiet on the Salah front in the contract. Guess no news is good news. That's how I'm gonna tell myself anyway.
I don't know, it scares me a lot.
No news is good news on that front.
We shouldn't be thinking like that though. If we're this fucking powerhouse of a team, we shouldn't be going, oh, no news is good news. He might stay. Like, if he was staying, he'd have fucking signed a contract, wouldn't he?
Last thing I'll say on the Liverpool-Everton stuff. Liverpool's fixtures now look like Watford, Benfica, City, Benfica, United. Oh no, sorry, it goes Watford, Benfica, City, Benfica, City, United, Everton.
God blimey.
Do you think that by the end of April this will be in with a shout at the quadruple? That is the question.
No, and the only reason that I say this, and I said this to you like without being on a podcast, I just don't think it's physically possible to put your strongest team out constantly. And the only way we'll get beat in one of them tournaments is if we can't. Like, we've got to, you see Trent out now, and then like, you know, as soon as you move a few of them players, I know the players coming in are good, but for example, the drop from Gomez to Trent's massive, isn't it, in terms of an attacking threat. Same on the other side, Robertson to Simcast, who's a decent player, but they drop his marking. And like the midfield's okay because we've been swapping them around anyway. The front three's okay, but it's the cohesion of the team, isn't it? When that strongest 11's out, we're unbelievable.
So on the yes or no, quadruple by the end of April, yes or no?
No.
I'm saying yes for the record.
You think we'll do the quadruple?
Yeah, I'm right to do, yeah. I doubled up, I done another bet on us to do the quadruple and Everton to go down 66-1.
I think we'll do 2. I think we'll do the FA Cup and the Champions League.
I'd take that treble all day.
No, double. Oh yeah, quad Carabao Cup. It's not a cup, is it? We can't start banging the drum for the fucking Carabao now. We bombed it off for like 15 years.
No, I'm banging it, lad.
Fucking Woodburn and everyone playing at one point. And then we're like, yeah, boss trophy this, get in.
United are getting linked more and more to is it Ten Hag?
Ten Hag, yeah. Yeah.
Would you have him?
I don't know enough about him. I don't know, like, Ajax to Man United's a big fucking jump. I don't know.
Ajax are a pretty big club, like.
Yeah, but they are, but what's the competition level?
I mean, with regards to pressure and history, I think.
I think they're a very big club reputation-wise, but I don't think the pressure's anywhere near as much as a Man United. Because you're not playing against the same level of competition. Do you know what I mean?
There's been hardly any news on this Chelsea buyout as well.
They're allowed to sell tickets again, I've seen that.
Are they? I must have missed that.
Yeah, they're allowed to sell tickets again. The UK government made alterations to the club's special licence.
Right, okay.
So, but he's trying to buy a team in Turkey, isn't he? Abramovich.
Is he?
Yeah, some team in Turkey. I don't know the name of them, but yeah, he's trying to buy another team. Mad, isn't it?
Wales mad at the minute, isn't it?
Just jump out of one country and go, yeah. Did you see all this stuff, by the way, about Russia saying, yeah, we'd host the 2028 World Cup or whatever it is?
They've come out and threw the name in the hat with that.
Yeah, Boris Johnson says Russia's interest in hosting the European Championships is beyond satire and beyond comprehension, yeah. So, 2028, the UK, Ireland, Russia and Turkey have said yes, while the 2032 edition, Russia, Turkey and Italy have stated interest. And UEFA like, alright, yeah, no worries.
Funny old thing.
Yeah, but it's like that. I seen Harry Kane talking this week about Qatar. Did you see that? He spoke about like what's going to be like. It's not the players though, is it? To like
the fans, yeah.
It's not. No, but they shouldn't have to come out and be like.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like defend them while they're playing there. They're just commodities.
Yeah.
If Kane doesn't go, another striker will go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's awful.
Staying on football for a minute. Did you see the thing again? I know you don't like it on TalkSport, where basically talking about like celebrating the Arsenal team celebrating. Did you see?
Yeah.
Oh, what a bit mad and kind
I got no problem with that, mate.
Well, yeah, Laura Woods was saying the same. She's like, you know, what's the point of celebrate? Like, if you're not allowed to celebrate until the end of the season, what's the point?
Mate, we done a lap of honour when we drew with West Brom.
It weren't like that, though, was it? You know, when Klopp's like first game thing, it was to kind of you know, prove a point and say, look, we're all together in this.
That's what Arsenal are doing.
I guess.
They've hit a level of form after a bad period, and then I'm guessing Arteta and the players are like, stick with us. Do you know what I mean? This is working. Like, I don't see obviously we did that fucking thing, didn't we? But then they went mad. It's the same thing for me, and I've got no problem with it. The only way to succeed in modern football is to create an environment where everyone's bought in, fans, coach, players. Do you know what I mean? And if that's what they need to do to get it, then go for it. I've been half impressed with Arsenal, to be honest.
Yeah, I have really impressed.
I don't know whether Arteta's going to be the manager that like everyone thinks he's going to be, but they've actually. I know they still are quite soft, but they've definitely turned it. No, you know, into a positive. They're not as easy to play against as they was.
One thing I've seen as well, mate, which is always interesting, is when players come out now, it's happening a lot more, talking about the mental health. Paul Pogba's come out and said there's been many times in his career when he's felt depressed. Mostly started when he went to United and Mourinho was there. But he's also just had his house broken into.
It's such a common thing, isn't it?
He's had his World Cup medal robbed. You'd be fucking wounded there, wouldn't you, by the way?
Why would you? Yeah, it's just... I mean, I have no doubt, rivalries aside, players like Pogba and stuff, you know, you find in all walks of society, it's the eccentric people that tend to suffered the most, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the fact that he gets stick for the way he does his hair or the way he plays or the fact he wears gloves when it's like 400 degrees. Do you know what I mean? It's like they're the type of stuff people get onto, but it's usually them people who suffer. So that doesn't really surprise me. But going back to United was the wrong move for him, for United, for everyone. I've said this before and I'll say it again more times in this podcast. Alex Ferguson doesn't get things wrong, mate. Not many things.
No. Yeah.
And he knew that wasn't a fit, and it never was.
What was even more surprising now is 2 clubs are in touch with him because he's gone free at the end of the season. So 2 clubs are potentially in for Pogba, knowing what he's like, which I think is bizarre.
I reckon City will go for him.
Do you reckon? Nah.
I do, honestly. City and Tottenham. He'd love London, though, Pogba.
Yeah. Mate, the last couple of things are Jermaine Defoe retiring.
What a baller.
I think he was so underrated then.
Oh, mate. One of the most naturally gifted goal scorers that we've ever produced.
I always wanted us to sign him or Darren Bent.
I definitely didn't want to sign Darren Bent, but
I like Darren Bent, you know.
Did you?
I don't know, yeah, there was something about him.
Fucking Kenwyne Jones used to average about 12 a season.
I'm going to find out he definitely done more than 12 a season.
We've been linked to some bad players in the past. Remember that? We just, summer after summer, it was like Carlton Cole.
Yeah.
Kenwyne Jones, Darren Bent. But I would just love Defoe, like Defoe and Crouch at Tottenham.
Oh.
But that goal he scored even towards the back end of his career at Rangers, where the right back absolutely launches in, it comes over his shoulder, just left peg.
Oh, he was a belter.
Yeah, but yeah, he was one of them players. He was always unfortunately used as a sub, wasn't he, on the international stage and stuff. But he's some player, and by all accounts, obviously a decent fellow.
Decent guy as well, yeah. Last thing, mate, on footy is this Premier League Hall of Fame.
Was
has just been put in there. Gary Neville's on the 25-man shortlist. Carragher's not. Would you reckon Carragher would deserve to be in the Premier League Hall of Fame?
do you know what?
I think for obviously Reds it's an easy one.
Probably not, because, and through no fault of his own, I don't think through what he achieved and stuff, it's just because he never played in teams that competed in the Premier League. He played in one that nearly got second, didn't he? So he got second.
Do you need to have won the league then?
No, but I think you need to either be like
because Stevie's in there.
Yeah, but like that's what I'm saying. You need to either be like stupidly outstanding, or be, part of a winning team. But is Ledley King in there?
Don't think so, no.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. I thought if he was in there, it would probably kill my argument because he didn't play enough, even despite the fact he was brilliant. But
I'll whiz through the 25 man. It's Tony Adams, Aguero, Sol Campbell, Peter Cech, Andy Cole,
fair. Ashley
Cole, Didier Drogba, Patrice Evra, Rio Ferdinand, Les Ferdinand.
He's probably in there because of trailblazing, really, I guess, isn't he?
Scored 149 in 350 goals in Prem.
Yeah, not bad, is it?
Robbie Fowler, Vincent Kompany, Matt Le Tissier, Gary Neville, Ruud van Nistelrooy, Michael Owen, Robin van Persie, Adnan van der Sar, Peter Schmeichel, Paul Scholes, Teddy Sheringham, John Terry, Yaya Toure, Nemanja Vidic and Ian Wright. No room for Carra.
I think it's slightly harsh on what he achieved and how much he maximised his ability to play at the top level for so long. But yeah, I probably understand why, I guess, but it's not consistent, is it? Because there's probably a few players maybe in the same boat.
There's 3 players in that list that didn't win a title. Robbie Fowler,
Le Tissier and Gerrard.
Matt Le Tissier and
Steve Gina
and Les Ferdinand. No, he's already in it.
Oh, okay. So this is the new
this
wave.
Is the new shortlist, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Les Ferdinand, Robbie Fowler and Matt Le Tissier, the only 3 on the shortlist.
It's tough for Carragher because he probably... half the reason he had such a good career, not half, like he was a great player, but because Gerrard was in the team.
Yeah, you think he jokes, doesn't he?
But I think that anyone who's in a team with Gerrard, he made Torres as what he was, didn't he? But it's like, also he probably his achievements probably get overshadowed a little bit because of that. But I don't think he'd be arsed, will he?
No.
I don't think that'll really bother him, if I'm totally honest. But if they keep doing shortlist every year, mate, imagine in a couple of years how fucking low down they go.
Oh God, I know, yeah.
Matt Doherty.
Jimmy Traore be in there.
Divock should be in.
Anything else on football?
No. Fucking...
No news on Novak this week in the tennis. You'll be pleased to hear.
Hallelujah.
What I did think was mad was the tennis number 1, Barty, her name is Ashley Barty, is retired at 25.
Medical condition?
She's the current Wimbledon champion, current Australian Open champion. and she's just retired. I think she's doing a press conference today, fully kind of explaining why. But when I looked into her, she's like a ninja at fucking cricket. She's done like all kinds.
A ninja at cricket.
She's just like an all-rounder.
Maybe she's like, I don't know, starting a family or something, I don't know.
Nah, I think she just wants to go and compete in other sports and just dominate other sports.
Sick, that.
Imagine being a world champ.
Imagine being that good.
Yeah, you can just go,
fuck this one, I'm going to go to the next one.
I'm done for a bit with this. Which I thought was a bit mad.
Quality, that.
Emma Raducanu as well is...
You hate her and Andy Murray, don't you?
I don't hate her, but I just think that hype around her was just a bit too much.
Do you like any British tennis players, or are you just all in on Novak?
Hang on, I don't... Listen, I'd love her to go on and have a boss career. I just think...
You got absolute stick for saying Murray was crap, though.
I know. He's obviously not crap, he's just old now, isn't he?
How old is he? He's got fucking robotic hips, hasn't he?
34, 35,
Is he?
I'm guessing.
Mate, it's such a demanding sport on the hard body, though, innit? Tennis. There's constant impact, innit?
But, yeah, I just like, she's come out obviously and said, I want to play into my 30s and stuff, but I just think her retiring at parties, it's a bit of a door open, isn't it, for everyone?
Yeah. I mean, it's super cool on her behalf if it is the reason you're saying. I just hope it's nothing sinister in terms of like she's, ill or something, but...
Nah,
yeah.
I think she's like... she's got to make an announcement today, but...
The fact if she is retiring just to go and prove how good she is in other sports, that's badass move, that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was tennis, mate, F1.
Oh, it's back. Have you watched Drive to Survive yet?
No.
I'm nearly done.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, they've got 1.5 left.
So it's coming up to like the last episode?
The last episode, yeah. Mate, it's such a bitchy fucking world.
Oh, I know.
Just Christian Horner on a horse with his fucking bear, Jerry.
Yeah.
He just hates Toto Wolff.
I still think it's mad how... Do you reckon they actually hate each other?
Yeah, they do, lad. 100%. Like, you see all the stuff like in the background where he's sort of like, they're doing interviews and he's like, stay this side, I'm not walking past Mercedes and all that stuff. Proper, like...
I seen the clip where they're doing an interview and he's like, oh, for fuck's sake, alright, get on with it.
Yeah. But it's like even... Like, down to McLaren, like, everyone thinks, obviously, Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo really get on, but they do, I think, but there's a little bit of bitterness there about who's the better driver and stuff. And then, obviously, you get to the opening weekend of this season, and,
Ferrari.
Hamilton's really slow, and then, obviously, manages to get a podium in the end, but Red Bull fucking self-combust, and Ferrari is the 1-2, yeah.
Yeah, both their Red Bull's cars didn't finish, did they?
I don't think they finished, yeah. But both are retired, so
it'd be great if that turned into a little three-way Ferrari just jumped.
Well, it looks like Ferrari have, obviously with the rule changes and stuff, that they have they have caught up, but it's straight into Saudi this weekend, isn't it? So
yeah, some life being an F1 driver.
Oh,
by the way.
Mate, lad, I thingy. I've got appreciation for it now. A lad that come across at university, his goal was to become an F1 engineer. At the time I was like, oh yeah, sound. And now you look at it and you're like, oh,
what a job.
I don't know if we actually got there or not, but yeah, it is some life, like demanding obviously, but
yeah,
I mean, if Ferrari are backed that off, obviously, because Mercedes are definitely slower than they were, or the cars obviously not hitting peak yet. My lot McLaren were down the ball, didn't get anywhere, but yeah, it's gonna be entertaining.
That Charles Leclerc, is it? He ended a 45 race winless streak.
But they've put a lot of faith and backing into him, haven't they? And
that's some pressure, that 45 races without a win.
But obviously the changes to the cars, I was reading something like, the rule changes means that it's the most dramatic change in the sport in 40 years. So I don't think they actually understood how the changes would impact each team until you get on track. And then obviously it plays out like that. Obviously Red Bull are not as good as they need to be, even though they were quite quick across the weekend. Mercedes definitely aren't. And then Ferrari have just basically gone, battling for third place with McLaren to bang, we're gone a 1-2. I mean, it's perfect for the F1 officials because it becomes the most... On the back of last year, 100% last weekend, you would have had neutralising, who you haven't watched before, and then you go, oh, the big two got beat as well.
Yeah,
it's just perfect, you know what I mean, for the narrative. But yeah, the F1 is going to be a big part of the show this year. But yeah, this thing. Cannot wait. Yeah. Cannot wait for it.
So who is it this weekend then?
You're in Saudi, yeah.
Saudi.
Yeah.
Just forget about all the human rights issues.
Oh yeah. Straight in.
I've seen a few things this week on American football, mate. The money in American football is fucking insane.
Crazy. Crazy.
Deshaun Watson is set to sign a record £230 million deal with the Browns.
What, over like 5?
230 million. It says he didn't play during the 2021 season after civil lawsuits were filed against him by 22 different women alleging sexual assault and misconduct.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's on the brink of signing a deal. And it is when asked, he said,
Shouldn't laugh.
no, listen to this. So on the back of that, he was asked, Deshaun Watson is set to sign a record-breaking deal with the Cleveland Browns, and he says he is ready to work.
No, it's not. It's got nothing to do with money.
He was the current record's
Crazy,
150 mil over 5 years. He's now 230.
Crazy, that means.
I mean,
That's big though, that.
not to get caught up in any lawsuits if Deshaun Watson ever listens to the Legged podcast, but
He's a big fan.
I mean,
It's happening, Deshaun.
how many women do you have to allegedly sexual assault and do whatever to that for that to be kind of how good you need to be for that to then be swept under the carpet?
Very, very dangerous though, innit? Like, you don't, without knowing the details, but yeah, it's like...
I mean, it doesn't sound great.
No, it doesn't. Not when it's,
22
you're
women.
racking up in the plus 20s, but... yeah, like, especially to come back and it's a connie like that, like...
230 mil over 5 years.
It's crazy, innit?
What's that? Like, 230 mil, what's... divided by 5... 46 mil a year.
It's not that good.
Divided by 12, 3.8 million a month. Divided by 4, it's £958,000 a week. 136 grand a day.
That won't even be reflective either.
He's on £5 grand an hour. £5.5 grand an hour.
Fucking far behind you.
And he's on 95 quid a minute. Imagine every single minute of the day you're earning 95 quid.
95. Heavy. But that's not even reflective of what the actual contract will be. That's fair. They put certain figures out, don't they, so that you're at certain brackets. I guarantee you he's pushing £1 million, like, per month or per week.
Well, the last one I'm going to say is £1.58 a second.
£1.58 per second.
Every single day.
Fuck
for
me.
5 years.
That makes fucking lucky meter.
What? How fucking mental is that? Anyway.
In the wrong sport, lad.
Yeah. Right, should we move on to boxing and UFC?
Well, no one's getting that sort of money. But where do you want to start? Well, UFC, we need to recap London. Well, a little bit. We did it on Patreon, and we recapped it on a vlog, and we were all over social media on it, weren't we? But
yeah, so for anyone who just listens to the Sportscast and that's your only weekly fix, we do another show on a Wednesday, me and Jordan. It's on Patreon. It's only for Patreon members. It's £1 a week, and we done video vlogs down at Cheltenham, at the UFC.
yeah,
Had a cracking few days. We put our betting tips on there and just our daily chats and daily arguments like a married couple does. It's good fun to get on there, and we kind of gave a bit of a roundup, really, didn't we, of the Cheltenham and the UFC?
yeah. UFC was...
It was incredible, UFC, wasn't it?
I said best event I've been to, like, in terms of an actual event.
Yeah.
Just the atmosphere was unreal. Like,
Finishes galore.
but it's back-to-back fights. They literally walk out the octagon and the next fight's in, do you know what I mean? And all the promotions on the screens and stuff. It was unbelievable.
Some of the takeaways then in the kind, because everyone knows what happens, is I seen Paddy's earnings
12 and 12.
12 and 12 catching the eye of a certain Logan Paul.
Jake Paul, yeah.
Jake Paul.
Yeah, but Paddy's been quite outspoken about Jake Paul anyway, hasn't he? But I mean, that's the contract he's on. He's not lying. But obviously, he got 12 to show, which is 12 to show per fight week. 12 grand if you win. Then he got a 50 grand bonus, didn't he? So, but the overheads he's got, you've seen his corner. He's got 3 coaches. I don't know whether they split 20% between 3 or something like that. But they'll definitely have to get paid. It's not a lot.
24 grand. So I'd say it's obviously 10%, 2,400. So 246, 6. What's that? 68, 72. So he's knocking 7-2 off straight away if he's paying 20% out.
But he's obviously going to get taxed as well, isn't he?
So suddenly that's 24 grand. Take off the 7,200.
Yeah.
That goes to what? 15.
Yeah.
And he gets taxed.
Yeah.
Arguably 50%.
It's not far off.
So now he's only getting 7.5, 8 grand.
Yeah. And then he's I don't know Paddy's situation, but a lot of fighters will like bootleg the strength and conditioning or whatever, and they say, right, I'll do my strength and conditioning camp, pay it at the end. So then you come home, you've got bills, you know what I mean? He also hasn't earned any. Obviously, he's got endorsements, so I'm sure he's been paid throughout, which is. But in another fighter's world, you know, you haven't worked since September, so.
Someone with Paddy's name might be a bit easier, but someone else who's on that same contract might just be.
Well, Molly was on that contract.
So you could, if you never had sponsors, and that you could arguably, this is just rough maths in my head,
though.
Be coming out with $5,000.
Yeah, and then that's why the bonus scheme, everyone fucking wants it and needs it, because obviously Paddy will basically work on, right, I've paid everyone, I've now got $8,000 left, bang, got $50,000 bonus, or like $58,000 pairs to go. Do you know what I mean?
It's not a lot though, is it?
No, it's
considering
not.
You're going in with trained killers.
No, but that's the way the UFC is designed, and Dana's argument has basically been, it's ambition that I don't, whether it's right or wrong, we've had this conversation before, but they basically see it as as you do in different sports. Where's the ambition? You know what I mean? You need to go on a 12-12, win. Right, you've won it. You're on a 30-30 now. Do you know what I mean? And then you're on a 45-45, and then you suddenly, you might headline, bank, but you also get money from the longer that you're in UFC or even any promotion, I think. But the sponsors they have with Venom, you get a certain payment from the Venom, but depending on how long you've been in.
Yeah.
So your money always goes up depending on your results. So I understand that the system, it's like, obviously, it's performance based, isn't it? The better you perform, the better you get paid. But I also understand the arguments that these people are quite, risking their lives.
Yeah.
For what? 24 grand? You could get 24 grand a year going to do something else and never have to worry about, dying. But
I don't know.
Yeah, and when I say 24 grand a year, I mean it because Paddy's fought once in, so September, October, November, December, January, February, March. Paddy's fought once in 6 months. So it's not far off a yearly thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's it's very.
Maybe you're saying he's fighting twice, he's on 50 grand a year again. There's easier ways to earn 50 grand a year.
Oh yeah, than getting in with someone who could snap you neck. Yeah, I mean he was, hopefully Paddy, with what he brings, will progress onto a better contract. Molly the same, but it just remains to be seen. But the UFC, that's how they work, and everyone knows it. And if everyone hated it that much, why are they still going?
Someone who did enhance their career was Molly.
Oh, spinning back elbow, fucking hell shot, death shot.
It was scary, that one. It was one of those knockouts where you thought,
Yeah. Do you know what? It's just so clean. It's like just swings the jaw back like that. You know what I mean? But yeah,
it was all meant perfect. You can see her eyeing it up.
She drilled it 100%. But she's thrown it quite a lot.
I've seen her throw it a few times.
But yeah, she had a great first round, I thought, Molly, and then she sort of maybe got tired a little bit in the second round. It was a bit of a closer round. She got caught in a few tight spots, and then the third, obviously, just ends it with that absolute death shot. But yeah, I'm sure she's going to get endorsements left, right and centre. Seeing she was on talk shite that you listened to for a bit.
She was, I think Barstools are sniffing around her as well.
But Molly's marketable, isn't she?
Yeah.
We know that. And
she's been great when we've had her on the pod. She was brilliant, wasn't she? She speaks really well.
So she's marketable. She's a marketer's dream. So hopefully, they can she get her sorted. But
someone who you raved on about and really impressed me, I didn't know much about him until the postman, aka Jordan Neal, and his UFC knowledge made me aware of, was your man who called Paddy out.
Ilya Taipora.
Scary man.
Talking of fucking death shots.
Scary man. Well, he was having that beef with Paddy beforehand and stuff, and the second he absolutely took that fella's head off, he just called out Paddy. But I mean, how he set it up was just phenomenal. Yeah,
well, another one had a tough first round, didn't he? That head kick went down, but then he just sort of threw the body shot, and then when Jai Herbert sort of moved down to protect that, just an absolute fucking driver to the side of the face.
Scary knockout that.
He just folded in half, didn't he?
I was grateful that as he fell, he just clapped at his feet, and he could have got another shot in, and thankfully he didn't.
The ref was quick, to be fair.
Yeah.
Which is needed, but
it was a bit worrying because obviously Paddy's been on the show. We like Paddy, and straight away he's just like,
the blonde bitch.
Give me that blonde bitch, Paddy.
Fuck that, mate. No, I mean, if you're fighting him, you're fucking not on a 12-12. No way.
So one thing, we'll come on to Mo next, but we had Dean Garnett on. Mo, is it Mo
Makhachev?
Makhachev is his coach. There's someone, I think, who are very different trajectories. Arguably, you could argue because of the different weight class and the opponents. But Paddy, like you were kind of saying, it'd be good to keep these two apart for a long time and, you know, build it into a super fight. Whereas, obviously, after Mo's performance, he's just like, fucking give me anyone.
Yeah, top 5, top 10 he wants, doesn't he, in July. But Mo Mokaev, mate, I mean, people who are listening to this, Dean's episode will be out in a couple of days' time, but like, he is frighteningly good for someone who's 21 years old. Yeah. Like, he is frighteningly good. The way he latched onto Cody Durden and just, like, he made one step to the wrong way and he just latched on and that was it. And then, as Dean rightly said, the worst thing fucking Durden done was try and fight it, because once you're in there, mate, you just...
I was getting uncomfortable watching it, mate.
Yeah. Because imagine being in it.
I'm not scared of creepy crawlies and spiders, nothing, but watching Mo on his back, you kind of get that, just fucking
get off, please.
You know what I mean?
But then it's so tight, the choke and stuff, and he's a dangerous man, Mo Mokaev. But I think, whereas the UFC see what they've got with the likes of Paddy, and they're like, right, let's build it, sometimes you just get superstars, mate. And he's not a superstar in terms of, like, he won't sell as many tickets as Paddy, he won't bring the drama Paddy does by getting dropped and stuff like that. But in terms of a talent, you cannot stop him. Yeah. Like, I would, if he went in with, mate, even pushing a top 5, I would not be surprised. And I understand, you know, the talent pool's way less as a flyweight, I understand that, but they're still experienced mixed martial artists, and you could put them in there with them. You know, the two champions are going to fight again for the 4th time, but they're probably the only two you'd go, maybe not. Do you know what I mean? But he's a scary dude, mate. Scary dude. Because he can do it all. You want to stand and fight, he'll stand and fight. You want to wrestle him, he'll fucking wrestle your fucking face off you. And if you want to go to the floor, then he'll just choke you out. Yeah,
the whole show was brilliant.
Yeah, it was one of the best.
Setting us up for a nice July one. Jordan's 30 in July, so we're eyeing up a little trip to Vegas for another little UFC.
We had a bit of drama in fucking Jorge Masvidal decided to find Colby at a steakhouse, didn't he? Busted his teeth.
He's got nicked, hasn't he?
He busted his teeth, smashed his Rolex up apparently.
Did he?
Yeah, he's been nicked. I think he's been released, hasn't he, on bond or whatever they call it over there, but I mean, it's a bit backwards, isn't it? Like, they just fought. You just got paid to do it.
Just paid to fight. Now you're just getting, now you're paying out because you've been nicked.
But apparently, there's no video footage of it yet, but then he just seen him, ran over and just fucking threw a haymaker.
Talking about fighters getting nicked, Connor's been arrested again.
It's the mother. He's mad, Conor McGregor, lad.
This time he's been charged for dangerous driving.
See what he said though? He's like, I was coming off the motorway, like I haven't done anything wrong. And he was going to the gym or something. They just pulled him.
Yeah, but was he going to the gym at 90 miles an hour?
Undercutting, apparently.
Anyway, he's been nicked in Ireland.
At least he's in Ireland fucking training.
Yeah. He's also got a film coming out.
No, do you know what that was? That Jared Leto thing. So there was talk of a biopic or whatever. And Jared Leto went, I think I want to play Conor McGregor. I think I can pull the look off. I think I'm too old though. And McGregor wrote back on Twitter, was like, you're not. Come out with me. We'll go through it. You can play me 100%. And he was like, cool, let's do it. And then someone made that graphic. But there is plans to make that champ movie.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, but Jared Leto thought he was too old to do it, and McGregor was like, nah, let's do it. Yeah. Imagine playing McGregor. Fucking cool job.
Brilliant. That. We got any UFC news this weekend?
No, obviously, I mean, good luck following last weekend, by the way, because it's another fight night, but just obviously back in Vegas. There's a couple of British people on this card actually, but there's the main event, Curtis Blades, Chris Daukaus, heavyweight, so you know, worth watching. Catching up on Sunday morning, by the way. But in flyweight, Askarov versus Kai Kara France is on here, which is a proper fight. That's a class fight. I think it's the best fight in the card. So the card's not as good as last week. It's not going to be as entertaining because that was the best fight night card I think we've probably ever seen or ever going to see. But yeah, there'll still be a bit on Sunday, and our usual Patreon post to go up because you find little opportunities on these little cards. But yeah, not as big as last week. But then obviously next week's another pay-per-view card. So the UFC keeps on rolling.
Keeps on rolling with the boxing, mate. It was over in Dubai. Oh my God.
You struggle big time with Probellum, don't you?
Fuck me. Probellum. I'm alright if I say it once or twice, but when I just say it first time off the cuff, I can never get it. Probellum.
Yeah, we had
Peter.
Yeah, Peter McGrail obviously got another stoppage. Yeah, Probellum are doing all right. Coming to Liverpool, aren't they? In April. They obviously had Sonny Edwards again on Saturday night. So obviously Sonny Edwards is one of the best flyweights on the planet.
Done a bit of a showcase, taking the piss a bit, really, like just dancing around.
He's a bit of a divisive character, Sonny. People like him, people hate him. You know, some people think he's great, some people think he's a knobhead. I don't really know where I stand, but he's a good fighter. He just needs the smartness fight, really, because it's got a good little narrative, because he basically says, so Eddie Hearn promoted his brother Charlie, and then put Charlie in with Martinez in London. But Sonny says Eddie knew how good Martinez was and signed Martinez before the fight. So he basically walked to the ring with Charlie. Charlie got smoked and he left the ring with Martinez. So Sonny Edwards was like, this is personal to me, because he wants to fight Martinez now. They're now the two best flyweights on the planet. So he thinks it's a bit
snardy that from Eddie, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's what Eddie does, isn't he? He's fucking cutthroat businessman. He makes no fuck. He doesn't try and pretend that's not how he works. But yeah, he is obviously, so it's a bit personal for Sonny. But Charlie's just signed with Probellum as well. So it was like, hopefully we can make that fight. Yeah. Because down at them weights, you need them rivalries, you know what I mean? You need something like that. But
to get the fans invested.
Yeah, I mean, this weekend we move, so there's another fucking card clash which I hate. It does me head in. So Sky have got Richard Riakporhe against Dion Juma, which for me is the fight of the weekend. Cruiserweight, that's just an absolute banger, really. Then obviously they got a decent little undercard with the likes of Dan Aziz on. Caroline Dubois again, so that's a good card. But then you've got Josh Warrington, haven't you, fighting in Leeds against Kiko Martinez. So it's
Are you thinking again? Do you think he'll have revenge this time? Or?
Yeah, I think Kiko's done. You know, I really do. I think he's done. I think he was getting battered by Kid Galahad, a weight trained Kid Galahad, till he landed that absolute Hail Mary and nailed him. You know what I mean? Which can happen. He's obviously last thing to go is your punch, innit? But I also think Josh Warrington's severely on the slide. So. I think he's a bit fresher than Kiko Martinez, so I think he'll beat him, might even stop him, to be honest. But yeah, I think inevitably Warrington will fight either. I want to see the Wood-Conlon rematch, but I think Wood will probably want to fight Warrington, because obviously Nottingham versus Leeds, it's a big domestic thing, it's great. So yeah, I think any featherweight who sees either of these come victorious on the weekend will have their eye on them, because they're both damaged goods, really. Do you know what I mean? Kiko Martinez is obviously... Someone was saying, mate, he's been going since like 2005. Was winning titles like 2006, 7, 8 into 2009. Obviously, he went and won a world title, lost it. He was getting battered like 5 years ago, and now he's having this mad like Indian summer sort of thing. 43, 10 and 2 his record is. Do you know what I mean? That's a lot of fights. It's a lot of fights in it. And obviously, Josh Warrington's 31 and 1. 31 and 1. So yeah, he's I think Josh Warrington just less damaged than Kiko Martinez is, so he'll walk away with it. But Ebony Bridges is on this card for the men who like to watch weigh-ins.
Yeah, she's the blonde bomber one.
Yeah, she's fighting for a fucking world title. I don't know how. I really don't know how.
I can tell you why.
Yeah, because Eddie knows. Eddie's not she's 7 and 1 at an opponent, and records, and that's saying records are for DJs is true, but like. This girl's 16, 5 and 1. Ebony Bridges is 7 and 1 and got beaten in the last fight, but they give it to her. And she's fighting for a world title. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. Like,
it brings the whole thing of boxing again into a bit like, what the fuck?
Why? Yeah. What are you doing? But yeah, I guess, you know, you're right. She's on the. This is terrible to say, but she is there because of how she looks.
She's a good looking girl.
And that's probably a slight on her because she does work hard at boxing. You know, she's not a bad boxer. I'm not saying she's crap. She'd batter me, but like. She shouldn't be at world title level, do you know what I mean? It's just a bit of a farce. But then Dalton Smith's on the card as well, who I think is one of the best prospects in the country, 9 and 0. He's fighting Ray Moylet, who's only 12 and 1, so that's probably the best fight on that card for me. And then but keep an eye on Riakporhe and Dion Juma over on Sky. I think that's a better fight than Martinez Warrington is. But yeah, and for those interested in my actual thoughts, it'll be on Patreon as usual.
Bit of a lull this weekend, I think. I think it's a mix of how high Cheltenham and UFC was added to the fact it's an international weekend.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm a bit like...
Yeah. Do you know what it is? It's because, like, obviously your love of football is like coming to the point where you're going to go for an over extreme. The boxing has just come off the back of like big fights. It's a bit of a lull this weekend. Obviously Usyk has announced that he's going to be in training for Joshua in the end of June. That's all kicking off. The UFC's just had the best fight night. There's a pay-per-view next week, so we're in a bit
right now though there's football.
Yeah, we're in a bit of a crossroads, aren't we? But
hopefully we've kept it entertaining for you on your Friday morning.
People like the banter. People like to hear, but
I'll tell you what, if you do like the banter, what's the last thing I will say to end this episode?
Do not say that story, by the way.
I'm not going to tell it all.
No, because we'll cut this show right now.
Me and Jordan had murdered the other night. I'm just going to say that.
Yes, we did.
Jordan nearly got filled in and then said to me that it was a celebrity outburst. I said it was him being a fucking selfish bastard. We put it out on Patreon.
Oh.
Both put our stories out.
No, we didn't.
And be honest, who are people siding me? Just be honest.
People are siding with you because...
Thank you. Have a boss weekend, everyone.
Oh, you shit, But yeah, because you took the mic and went, like, this is what happened. Start putting your little sob story on about your leg and all that stuff. Who's going to go against you?
Anyway, if you want to know what happened,
and you've got Patreon burner accounts. I know you have. You have like, there's probably little dodgy comments on there going.
I'm paying about 50 quid a month just to put good vibes.
Someone just pops up randomly going, "Oh, Andy's hair's looking all right." Like, what the that's you. That.
Nah,
Gandhi Ant.
If you do, if you do want to listen to more of our chats and laughs, then we are on Patreon every Wednesday. It's £1 a week. If not, if you just like the Sportscast, that's cool as well. Thanks for the support.
Do you know what we should tell them just before we go? Sportcast going on the road.
Oh, yeah.
The vlogs went down so well that we are now making plans to take the Sportcast international to events.
Yeah, the vlog was a belter. So we had one of our travelling down to Cheltenham. We had all day at Cheltenham. The highs and lows of wins and losers. Me falling asleep drunk.
Falling over.
Breakfast bar. Our trip then to London, what it was like in the UFC.
Getting lost.
We had all that good fun and everyone really enjoyed it. So now we planned on the way home.
We're going to Vegas and Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi, Wimbledon, to name a few. So.
And if you think of any more, that I want a few left field ones. I want to go Silverstone.
Yeah, we want sporting events.
Yeah. If you think of something where you think, do you know what, it'd be boss to see behind the scenes there.
Yeah.
Like, or just get on the ground.
We can use the leg card and we can normally get in behind the scenes, literally.
Mad shit. But if you think of an event and you think, do you know what, that'll be good for the lads, as obscure, even more obscure the better. But I want to see some shit.
What about bowls?
No, because we would get carted out. I'm thinking like, I don't know, rugby sevens.
That's meant to be a belter.
Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that. I'm thinking like, stuff where we can really go and be like, you know, not many people have been here, so we're taking you behind the scenes. But let us know
on
any
the sporting front as well. Sorry, on that. If you are on Patreon as well, the Monday guests get shown a week early. So on Sunday, next week's guest will be out. There's a guy called Mark Roberts, who's the most famous streaker. He's streaked at the Super Bowl, Wimbledon, Champions League finals, derbies, everywhere. So me and Jord love sport. We want to go to a load. If you want to, me and Jord won't be streaking at any of these that we go to, but if you want to hear stories of someone who does, it's on Patreon as well.
The story of how you managed to streak at the Super Bowl and not get shot was just mind-blowing, wasn't it? But that'll be out soon, and anyone who's interested in sport will really enjoy that.
Yeah. Again, nice one. Have a boss weekend, and we see you next week.
See ya.